Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're excited for this week's video. I know I am. I'm going to be unboxing the July Scrawlrbox. Yes, July. I know it's the middle of September, my box came late and I was just going to skip it. However, I found out in the July box there are oil paints that you use with just water. Now I love oil paints, but I hate that you have to use linseed oil and turpentine, vinegar, nail polish remover, whatever you want, but it's just a lot to work with and it even can be a little intimidating to start out with all that. So if this paint works just as well as oil paint and all you have to use is water, this might be my new favorite style of painting, and that is really saying something. So we are going to quickly unbox this box, we're going to test out the paint, and I will let you know what I think. So just go ahead and keep watching. Okay, so here we have the Scrawlrbox. This is July's box. Remember, we're going back in time for this one because it arrived late. Okay, and the moment of truth. Here we go. Oh, God. That's better. Alrighty. In every box you get this little information card. On the back it's got the Scrawlr challenge, which is abstract floral this month. Also the sticker and this little card here, we'll look more at that later, but it looks like you can cut it. Don't know why. And we got a pencil again in every box, seems to have a pencil. It's a graphite 2B. And a nice little brush here. I'm assuming it's an oil paint brush. It says the number 10 and Scrawlrbox on it, so it must be a custom Scrawlrbox brush. Also in every box there is the main item, or usually a set of items, and here we have this Cobra paint. It is water mixable oil color. So it's oil paint that can be mixed with water. Just like I said, this is what I want to focus on today because I think it's really cool. The information card just says basically that it's artist quality, which I think means that it has really good pigment. And we have a red, blue, and a white. I think technically it's like titanium, magenta, and ultramarine. Who could forget about the candy? We have this little Vidal sucker, looks pretty good. And we always have something to use the paint on, even though it's pretty small. We got this little 12 by 14 centimeter canvas. The example of this month's challenge is really nice. You can tell that it's flowers, but it's still abstract. And it's done by Katie Jobling, and it's got her socials on there. Now for the best part, we get to play with it a little bit before we go to our actual canvas because we want to get a feel for it. And I really wanted to see if these performed like oil paint, so I wanted to see if it had that shine kind of, which it does, so it doesn't look like a watercolor even though we're mixing it with water. So far so good. But we haven't actually mixed any water in yet, so that'll be the real test. Immediately I can feel that it's actually mixing in, so that's a good sign. A regular oil paint, it would be like resisting and almost waterproof even on the plate. It spreads really nicely on the paper, almost feels like watercolor in a way, but I'm gonna make sure that it still has that gloss and it doesn't have that faded look of watercolor, because that is what makes it an oil paint, is the way that it looks. I can thin it down a lot. I can thin it even more. I had a little left on my brush, but I think if I tried, I could get it to be really opaque. So I'm starting to get the hang of it. I think I'm ready to move on. Let's see how it looks. It's still really glossy, which oil paint isn't always like glossy like that, but I'm just kind of trying to check the consistency of how it's performing. Yeah, it's still wet. It's gonna stay wet for a while, which I like. So I think I'm ready to get to the canvas. The box came with just 3 colors, and one of those colors was white, which really helps, but it did leave us with only 2 actual color options. So I went ahead and I mixed up what I could. I actually was able to get a good amount. I got some purples and pinks and different shades of blue. And I didn't use too many shades of red actually, just because of the vibe I was going for, but I went ahead and mixed up all my colors first. I actually really liked being challenged with the colors. I love that this box has a challenge every single month because it's really good for all artists to get out of their comfort zone and try new things. And even if you do something totally crazy that you know you'll never do again, you can like take bits and pieces from it and learn from it and implement those things in what you regularly do. So it's always fun to have someone tell you like this is what you're gonna do and this is what you're gonna do it with, because it really challenges you. And that's what I love about art, is always trying to learn different things. So that was actually the main reason that I chose this box, was because of the challenges they have. Speaking of the challenge, I've got mine going here. If you can't tell, I am painting a bouquet of flowers in a vase on a table. So I've got the vase and the table done. I did those with that light blue and I really watered it down just so I could get that thin, even coverage on the light blue of the table. And then for the flowers, I'm taking all those different colors I mixed up. I'm even mixing up some new ones right on the canvas. And I'm just no pattern at all, just laying them down on there. It is an abstract piece, so there's no details to the flowers. They're just kind of globs, or I guess brush strokes is a better way to say it, of paint. And some of them are going to be really thick. None of them have any water. Some will be so thick that they're 3D off the canvas, and some will be thinner so that it has some dimension. If you don't make anything, if you make every single stroke that really thick 3D kind of glob of paint, then that area of the bouquet is going to be really heavy, and it's just not going to look as like detailed and intricate as it will if you kind of give it some dimension. Also, you have to be careful with the balance. Since I put the bouquet off center, I gotta make sure that I put a shadow going to the left just to have some weight on the left side of the table. And I'm gonna make the background pretty dark since the table and the vase are both so light. I don't want the only group of dark color to be the bouquet. So I'm gonna add a lot more depth, and even the table I'm gonna darken up a bit. So while I do that, I'll just really quick let you know what I thought of the July box. I really like this box, and the paint is really unique, so even if you have a lot of art supplies already, you might not have this paint. At first, I wished that it came with one more color, like maybe a yellow, but then I realized that they're just here to let you try out new supplies, and then you can decide if you like it. That way, if you do, you can go out and purchase more. They can't give you the entire collection. Like if they do markers one month, they can't give you every single marker. So it's still really cool though that you get to test it out, and then you can decide if you want to get into that style. But enough about the box, let's get back to the oil paint. I love the way that this paint is performing. It's performing exactly like an oil paint, which might sound obvious, but I was a little worried since it mixes with water that it might actually perform more like an acrylic paint or something. I was worried it wouldn't have all those good qualities of oil paint, but it actually does. It's exactly like an oil paint. I mean, it actually is an oil paint. I did some research on how they're made, and they're made exactly the same with all the same things in them. I can't get too scientific, I'm not quite sure what they're made of, but they have all the same things except one extra thing. So there's nothing taken away, there's just some additive. I believe it's called an emulsifier, which makes the oil in the oil paint become suspended in the water droplets when you mix it with water. Therefore, it's able to mix together. So it has all the good qualities. You can see the background, the shadow, and the table I actually diluted with water so that it would thin out. It performed exactly like if I was using a thinner. Kind of looks like some watercolor there, the way it fades and has that opacity but it also holds the brush strokes exactly where I place them. It doesn't bleed anywhere. It looks just like oil paint should. You can see it on the wallpaper where I have all those brush strokes, and they stay exactly where you place them. You can also see in the bouquet, it's got different thicknesses on each stroke there, exactly how I wanted it. So I think I'm done with the flowers now. The table's looking a little weak, so I'm just going to strengthen that white line and tweak the shadow a little bit. But the flowers are done, and I'm so proud of myself for finishing those, because on this painting, each flower was just like one stroke of the brush, and I'm such a perfectionist. That was really out of my comfort zone for me to just do a one and done where I couldn't go back and change it and tweak it forever. So I'm actually very proud of myself for doing something different with this painting. So I was very happy with this. I can't wait to see what's in the next box. I even want to order another art subscription box. So let me know if you get one, or if you've heard of any cool ones you want to try out that you want me to try out for you. So let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and I'll see you next week. Thanks for watching.